The war was over because of the help of selected people with magic who were called Eudemon masters. They possessed a power that they use in their fight which was known as Eudemon, and there was a teenager named Chuling who dreamed of becoming a Eudemon master, but his problem was that he did not have magical power. One night, Chuling once again took the attention of their customers because of his story. He told them the story about the battle that took place between Tianwu Temple and Mo Temple 18 years ago. The Dragon King named Mo and the Eudemon master named Feng Tian fought in this war. But his friend, named Zifeng, contradicted his story because it was as if Chuling was saying that he was the successor of Feng Tian even though he did not have magical power. Chuling's mother came, and he wanted to help explain, but she just scolded him and sent him back to work. A few minutes later, Zifeng asked him to help him carry the wine he bought to their house because there were guests who arrived. They had also discussed the selection of the Tianwu Academy because they were surprised that it was done ahead of schedule. And according to the spreading news, this was a sign of the return of the Dragon King. Although he was defeated in his fight with Feng Tian, he was not completely killed, and his disciples were also waiting for its return. Chuling wanted to enter the Tianwu Academy so that he could also be recognized as a Eudemon master. But Zifeng reminded him that it would be difficult because he did not have magical power. So Chuling tried to show him his technique, called Sky Punishment, but Zifeng just laughed at it. After a few moments, they saw some people running at the top of the roofs. Chuling thought that an evil spy was being chased, so he hurriedly followed them, hoping that he would get merit. Until they reached the forest, but even though those people were very fast, he was still able to catch up because he knew the place too well. But suddenly, those he followed disappeared from his sight, and he unexpectedly saw butterflies. He followed them until he saw a beautiful woman, named Lanru, who controlled the glowing insects. Suddenly, the people from Tianwu came there because it turned out that they were chasing Lanru because she was a spy. She got down and prepared to fight, but Chuling suddenly shouted at them. He quickly ran towards them because he accidentally activated the trap that Lanru had set in the forest. When he was captured, Lanru was about to try to attack the people of Tianwu, but Chuling suddenly fell onto her. Chuling immediately got up to defend Lanru. He told those men who were chasing Lanru that he already called for help from the Eudemon masters of Tianwu Academy. It turned out that he did not know that the people he was dealing with were also from Tianwu. He thought of pretending to attack these men to give Lanru a chance to escape, but when he looked behind him, he was terrified because a demon flower appeared to them. Lanru immediately ran, and it was there that a member of the Mo named Shuaya appeared to her. She told him the information she got from Tianwu, and one of them was the upgrading of the security inside the academy. From this information, Shuaya thought about the possibility of the return of what they had been waiting for a long time. He told Lanru to also participate in the upcoming Tianwu selection to enter the Tianwu Academy and find out the whereabouts of the Dragon King. And in order for them not to recognize her, she would need to disguise as a man. Meanwhile, the demon flower quickly defeated the members of Tianwu, so it was now chasing Chuling. When it attacked Chuling, he suddenly heard a voice asking him if he wanted power. Then he suddenly acquired a very strong power and effortlessly killed the demon flower. But after that, he suddenly became weak and lost consciousness. He dreamed of the fight between Feng Tian and the Dragon King in the last battle that took place. In that dream, the Dragon King suddenly rushed forward to attack him, causing him to wake up. He was already at their house, but when his mother found out that he had woken up, she scolded him immediately. Then he was told that an important person was coming for their blind date. He quickly opposed this idea because he intended to join the Tianwu Academy selection. His mother was so annoyed by his disobedience, so she tied him to the pole. A few minutes later, after his mother left, the girl that his mother claimed to become his future bride, named Miss Feng, arrived and came closer to him. As he was being forced to be kissed by this masculine girl, he saw Zifeng laughing at his condition. After a while, he ordered Miss Feng to stop, and told Chuling that he was now in charge of the Feng clan. He wanted Chuling to recognize him as his boss, and if Chuling wanted to join the Tianwu Academy selection, he must obey, so he would not be left there with Miss Feng. But Chuling just brushed it off and ran away, until he bumped into Lanru, who had already disguised into a man. When she saw Chuling, she was surprised that he was still alive. So she attacked them and closed the gate because she did not want Chuling to participate in the selection. But while she was signing up for it, she was surprised that Chuling was already behind her. Chuling was still annoyed of what happened earlier. He argued with Lanru until teacher Shemu came there. She told everyone to come closer to her because she would explain to them about the selection. Zifeng whispered to Chuling and pointed out the participants who were known to be strong. He also had a hunch that Lanru should not be taken lightly, but Chuling did not want to let her go either. Because of this, teacher Shemu scolded him, causing everyone's attention to go to him. He was immediately recognized by the other students who were the children of those coming to the restaurant who heard his stories, and they started to laugh at him. Teacher Shemu silenced them all, and told them the information for the first test. It would take place in the Eudemon forest where they needed to find a Eudemon and capture it. But only 200 participants would be accepted to pass this test, so all of them hurried to the forest. When the participants were about to enter the portal to the Eudemon forest, Lanru put a spell on Chuling's clothes. So whenever Chuling saw a Eudemon, it activated, and forcing the Eudemons to stay away from him. For this reason, he had difficulty in catching the Eudemon. Until he saw the other participants running towards him because the Eudemon tiger was chasing them. He was not able to run immediately and was hit by its attack. When it got closer to him, the spell was reactivated, causing the Eudemon to throw up and run away from him. At that moment, he got really annoyed because even a scary Eudemon could not resist his smell. A participant named E approached him and immediately noticed the wound on Chuling's leg. She did not hesitate to use her power to treat his wound. But a few moments later, her colleague, named Lin Yang, called her. Chuling suddenly thought of a way to capture the Eudemon tiger. He successfully caught it, but while he was pulling it to take it to teacher Shemu, Lanru did something to the Eudemon. So when he came out of the Eudemon forest, the creature's appearance suddenly changed, causing others to laugh at him again. But teacher Shemu noticed that there was a spell placed on the Eudemon that surprised her, and she immediately thought that there might be a spy among the students. She let Chuling pass the first test, and decided to investigate it after the next test. For the next challenge, the participants were taken to the Shengyuang Bridge. They had to cross to the other side, but only the first 50 participants would pass the test. The Eudemon that Chuling got continued to annoy him, so teacher Shemu took it first. When the test started, the participants quickly ran towards the bridge. But when they reached the thick fog, it was here that teacher Shemu suddenly disappeared. Bailang and Lanru managed to follow her, but teacher Shemu suddenly changed her speed. Bailang went through the rope, and something suddenly attacked Lanru. After she dodged their attacks, it was then that she found out that they were absorbing spiritual power. As she was about to continue, she noticed that they seemed to be following where there was a noise. She took this opportunity to use them on Chuling, and then she left. When Chuling and the others arrived at that area, the monsters immediately attacked the other participants. As they blocked their attackers, Yi noticed a participant who was just sitting on the side, but was not being attacked by these creatures. So she also immediately knew that the monsters were just reacting to noise. She tried to crawl, and since she was not attacked, the others also followed her and crawled to avoid making any noise. When Chuling and Zifeng saw what they were doing, they also did the same. But when they passed the trap created by Lanru, it had been activated. Although Lanru's plants were being attacked by the monsters, the leader of the monsters appeared in front of the participants. They tried to continue, but it suddenly attacked one Lin Yang's colleagues. When the monster attacked again, they quickly created a barrier. Zifeng tried to attack it, but it did not work. When the creature attacked again, that was when their barrier was destroyed. Lin Yang rushed at it with his sword, but the tentacles of the monster that he cut quickly regenerated. The monster used a petrify spell. Luckily, Yi was able to quickly create a shield, so that she and Chuling would not be affected by it. But the monster also destroyed it immediately, causing them to be captured. Due to the tight grip of the tentacles on them, they both weakened and lost consciousness. Just a few moments after teacher Shemu reaches on the other side of the bridge, Bailang and Lanru also came after her. She let them rest while they waited for the other participants. When Chuling woke up, he immediately thought that he was dead. Suddenly, someone called him, and when he saw it, he thought that he was in hell. But he remembered that it was the one who possessed him the other night. At that moment, he found out that this creature was sealed in his body. According to this creature, if he removed the seal, he could give him great power to save Zifeng and the others. Chuling thought that this was his chance to gain power. As he was about to touch the seal, he suddenly stopped. He also thought that something bad might happen if he let this creature go. It laughed at him because he did not act like a fool right away, but he still gave Chuling the feeling of being so powerful. When Chuling felt the power inside him, he immediately tried it. He remembered that he needed to save his companions, so he was forced to touch the seal. Teacher Shemu was surprised that after a few minutes had passed, no one had arrived yet. Shueya reappeared to Lanro again to remind her to be careful. But Shueya suddenly felt the Dragon King's aura, which surprised him. When Chuling got away from the monster, he immediately killed it too. Teacher Shemu and the others heard the very loud explosion, so they quickly moved to go to it. When Yi regained consciousness, Chuling approached her to absorb her Eudemon power. But suddenly someone attacked him, causing the Dragon King to be sealed again, and Chuling returned to normal. It done by the director of the Tianwu Academy with the vice director, named Wenhu. The director was aware of the possibility that the seal could be removed once again, so he assigned Wenhu to keep an eye on Chuling. Teacher Shemu arrived, but before they left the area, Zifeng and the others returned to normal. When Chuling woke up, Lin Yang, who was angry, immediately approached him because they saw him lying on the top of Yi. He was about to attack Chuling, but Yi stopped him. And fortunately, Teacher Shemu approached them and told all of them to go to the big tree. Before the next test started, Teacher Shemu made it clear to them that the big monster earlier was not part of the test. Because of this incident, all of the survivors passed the test even if they did not reach the other side of the bridge. And since Teacher Shemu also believed that Chuling had captured a Eudemon tiger, he was allowed to participate in the third test. They had been brought to the Tianwu Academy because this was where the next test would be conducted. They were informed that they would be given a place to live, but before they go there, they were introduced to their next teacher. It was Master Doin, but when the participants saw him, they could not stop laughing at him. After informing them of the rules and what they should do the next day, they started looking for their respective rooms. While Zifeng was having problems in his room, it was the opposite for Chuling. After a while, a woman called Zifeng and asked for help because she said that she could not open the door. Zifeng immediately went to her room, but he accidentally broke the door. Because of this, he went to Chuling to ask him for help in getting the woods to replace the damaged door. Since the number in Chuling's room was reversed, Lanra thought that it was number 9, which was the number of the room that she was looking for. Meanwhile, as the two were looking for wood, Chuling suddenly had a stomach ache. He quickly went home and accidentally caught Lanru, who was getting ready to take a bath. She immediately attacked him, and although he managed to avoid her attack, he was hit by the wood on his head. On the other hand, Shueya called the other two members of Mo to begin their search for the Dragon King. The next morning when Chuling woke up, he heard Master Doin's announcement, so he hurried to the meeting place. For their third test, it was called the Battle of Coins and it would last for 8 hours. They will choose a bag with different numbers of coins, and in order to accumulate more coins, they had to grab the coins from another fellow participant. And anyone who accumulated 1,000 coins could enter the door of identity to become an official member of the Tianwu Academy. Before they started, Master Doin also informed them about the safe area where participants were forbidden to steal coins from there. But they could only stay there for 15 minutes, and those who disobey the rules would be disqualified. When the test started, each student took their bag of coins from a tall tree using magic. Since Chuling did not have magic, he needed to climb the tree to get it. When he got down, Zifeng asked him how many coins he got, and when the others found out that it was 2,000 coins, they immediately chased after him. Since Zifeng could no longer go with Chuling, he separated from him. Chuling decided to throw other coins to make them stop chasing him, and then he ran to the safe area. But before he got there, he was suddenly attacked by a member of the so-called Pure Color clan. These are the students from the previous batches who also wanted to acquire 1,000 coins. When he attacked Chuling, Chuling suddenly activated the power of the Dragon King. Because of this, he felt as if the attacker was moving very slowly, and he could easily avoid the attack. When the enemy's colleague helped in attacking him, he retaliated. Chuling could not believe the strength he had, but the problem was that he still could not control it. Just a moment later, Lanra came there and attacked them all to take their coins. After she took them, Lanra left, so Chuling forced to free himself and chase after her to retrieve his coin. He took the opportunity to use his intense power, but still struggled to control it. On the other hand, those who were ordered by Shueya, named Bao Gui and Moi, were already on the move. They were carrying an artifact that would be used to track down what they were looking for. They faced a group of Lin Yang, but they just played with them since Lin Yang's group was weak compared to them. When Chuling and Zifeng noticed the explosion, they immediately headed towards the location. They saw that Bao Gui was already using the artifact on Yi. Zifeng told Chuling that they should just leave because he knew that they could not win against the enemies either. They were surprised when Chuling suddenly shouted and rushed to Bao Gui. But all of a sudden, his intense power disappeared, causing him to writhe in pain from his own attack instead. Bao Gui was about to attack him, so Zifeng acted quickly to save them. Chuling took Yi, but the Eudemon tiger also took the artifact of the enemies. Because of this, Bao Gui attacked them non-stop until Moi used her power on them. When Bao Gui threw bombs at them, Chuling's power reactivated, so he kicked the bombs back to the enemies. Bao Gui was so angry, so he attacked again, but Chuling kicked the bombs toward him again. Then Chuling rushed at Bao Gui, but Moi quickly created a barrier to protect her companion. That was the moment when Bao Gui used his giant eyes. But Moi knew that Bao Gui had lost control on its power, so she controlled Zifeng to take the artifact from the Eudemon tiger. Chuling quickly pushed Zifeng away, which made the artifact fall on him. The explosion from Bao Gui's attack was so powerful that Master Doin was surprised by it. It turned out that the artifact that Bao Gui was carrying contained a purple dragon. Since Chuling's body could not handle the effect of the reawakening of the purple dragon, his body was slowly being dissolved. But suddenly, the black dragon appeared, which surprised the purple dragon. He immediately apologized to the black dragon because it turned out to be his master. The black dragon instructed him to protect Chuling's body, so when Chuling regained consciousness, he was surprised to find that he was wearing the dragon clothes. The purple dragon suddenly spoke to him to tell him what kind of power he possessed at the moment. Moi immediately thought that Chuling was the one that they were looking for because the artifact recognized him. They were about to arrest Chuling, but Master Doin suddenly came there to stop them. This was because they were in a safe area where no one was not allowed to attack anyone. Because of this, the enemies were forced to retreat first. But Chuling had a problem because he had not gotten any coins yet, and there were only 5 minutes left before the end of the test. Unfortunately, he was not able to accumulate any more coins. They were taken to the location of the Door of Identity to find out the spiritual color of the students who had accumulated 1,000 coins. Bailang did it first, and the color that came out of him was pure black. Lanru followed with a light green color. Then Lin Yang with light violet, and Yi with pink color. Zifeng got the color yellow, but according to Master Doin, it was said to be the weakest of all colors. While Chuling was feeling down because he did not have 1,000 coins, the purple dragon suddenly spoke to him. The dragon told him to look at his belt, and Chuling found 2 spiritual coins in it. The dragon said he could use it to pass the Door of Identity. He argued with the purple dragon because he was told that he was a trash, and did not have the talent to become a Eudemon master. He suddenly shouted, and Master Doin thought that it was him whom Chuling was shouting at. Because of this, he was forced to enter the Door of Identity, so Lanru was surprised since she knew that he had no coins. When the Door of Identity said that his power currencies were 0, the other participant laughed at him. But he had another spiritual coin that allowed him to pass as a Eudemon master, and his color was colorless. Master Doin was shocked that he had a spiritual coin, because this was the first time that a student had passed using it. For this reason, the other participants protested, thinking that the Tianwu Academy always favored Chuling. They rushed at Chuling to beat him up, but Zifeng immediately intervened to stop them. But they did not listen to him, so Zifeng was also beaten by the angry participants. Wenhu suddenly came there and immediately attacked those who were beating Chuling. As members of the Tianwu Academy, Chuling and Zifeng were given a warning because of the trouble they were involved in. Then Wenhu instructed Master Doin to keep a close eye on Chuling. A few hours later, Lanru met Shuya in the forest again. He informed her that the Dragon King was inside Chuling. But to remove the Dragon King's seal, they needed an ancient artifact that was also hidden inside the Tianwu Academy. And while it was not in their hands yet, it was Lanru's mission to protect Chuling. The next day was their first day of class as the official students of the Tianwu Academy. They had 3 classes, and these were basic illusions, medicine learning, and full training. But before they started, they were brought to Shifeng Yu, so they could choose their Eudemon weapon. After they entered the room, they were positioned based in their color to take them to the floating island where they would get their Eudemon weapon. When Chuling arrived at the colorless island, he was disappointed because the house in it was very small. When he entered the house, he saw what looked like fireballs gambling on the floor. The other group of fireballs could not decide on the bet, so he said that 3 ones would come out, and he was right about it. When they noticed him, they were surprised because they could not feel any Eudemon power in Chuling. He found out that it had been a long time since the last time a student came there. And the last one who came there was Feng Tian, so he was surprised that Feng Tian was also a colorless. But before he could choose his Eudemon weapon, he was told that he must win in the bet. Bailang and Lanru quickly returned with their Eudemon weapons while the others had already chosen that they liked. A few minutes later, Chuling won over 50 rounds, so he was asked to choose his Eudemon weapon. But he could not see what kind of Eudemon weapons were within the floating fireballs, so he just based it on the reaction of the colorless protectors whenever he pointed on the fireballs. He noticed that they seemed worried whenever he pointed to the smallest, so he chose this one. But when he got it, his companions just laughed at him because it was just a piece of wood. After they finished selecting their weapons, they were taken to their new accommodation. While Chuling was looking at his Eudemon weapon, the members of the Pure Color clan began to take action to take the new students' Eudemon weapons. The other students could not defeat the enemies, but Bailang and Lanru just beat up those who entered their room. Those who entered Chuling's room thought that his Eudemon weapon was useless, so they just returned it to him. The next morning, when Master Doin asked the students to show their Eudemon weapons, most of them could not release their weapons. Only 4 students were able to keep the Eudemon weapons. Because of this, Master Doin had the others get a practice weapon that they could use. After a few hours of their training with their respective weapons, the champion of the Eudemon class from 2 years ago, named Huanxi, arrived in the training ground. Other students recognized Huanxi's companion because he was one of the attackers the other night who was beaten by Bailang and Lanru. This guy reported to Huanxi about what happened to them, and they planned to take revenge. Master Doin chose Lin Yan to duel with Huanxi, but Huanxi immediately defeated him. In the next round, it was Huanxi who chose his opponent, and he chose Bailang and Lanru because he wanted to fight them together. The 2 students accepted the challenge, and Bailang attacked first. While Huanxi was busy with him, Lanru tried to attack him as well. As they exchanged attacks, Bailang had a chance to injure Huanxi. Chuling and Zifeng were so happy about it, so Huanxi called them to join the duel. When they rushed to their opponent, Chuling tried to use his Eudemon weapon, but it was useless. The purple demon spoke to him again, and suggested that he use the second Eudemon weapon that he got. When Lanru attacked Huanxi, Chuling took the opportunity to use his weapon and was able to grab Huanxi's cloak. Because of what he did, they all found out Huanxi's secret. In Huanxi's anger, he was about to attack Chuling, but Master Doin stopped him. Then he also told Chuling to return Huanxi's cloak. When the leader of the Pure Color clan, named Beichuan, learned about Huanxi's defeat, he immediately summoned him. He reprimanded Huanxi in his failure, and then asked for the meteor stone that he ordered them to find. Huanxi was about to give it to him when he found out that it was missing. He immediately apologized to Beichuan, and told him that he knew where to find it. The next morning, their class in medicine had started, and it was handled by teacher Shemu. Their first task was to find the 8 herbs on the first page of the book that was given to them. They had 2 hours to do this with their partner. Chuling and Zifeng planned to do it together, but one of their classmates pulled Zifeng away. And since Chuling and Lanru were the only ones without a partner, they decided to do the task together. While they were looking for the herbs, Lanru suddenly suffered from headache that caused her to fall. Chuling quickly approached her to help stop the bleeding of her wound, but she refused his help. 2 hours later, the students came back to their meeting place to show teacher Shemu the herbs they got. But Lanru only found 1 herb. Fortunately, Chuling got a lot of these plants. After their class, the group of Huanxi suddenly approached Chuling. Chuling has no idea what was this thing that Huanxi wanted from him. To make Huanxi stop chasing him, Chuling challenged him to a fight, and to prove that he was not lucky when he defeated Huanxi the other day. When Chuling saw Zifeng, he tried to make a signal to him to call teacher Shemu. Huanxi agreed to Chuling's challenge, but he demanded that they should have a bet. Chuling said that if he lost in the fight, they could do anything to him, but if he won, he wanted to get Huanxi's house. A few moments later, teacher Shemu arrived there. It turned out that Chuling wanted her to serve as a witness in his fight with Huanxi. Since both of them agreed on their terms, teacher Shemu allowed what they wanted to happen. When they started, Chuling quickly ran away, which disappointed the viewers. Huanxi got pissed and chased after him as he attacked repeatedly. It turned out that he still had no idea how to defeat Huanxi because he did not know how to use his power. So the purple dragon spoke to him to remind him of the moments when he activated his power. When he remembered those moments, he found out that it was only activated whenever his life was in danger. So the purple dragon told him to stop running and face the danger. When he did this, he was able to activate his power. Because of this, he was able to withstand all of Huanxi's attacks until he stopped his punches. Huanxi and the viewers could not believe that Chuling suddenly became strong. Huanxi rushed again and did not stop releasing strong blows on Chuling. When he stopped, they saw that Chuling had created a barrier to protect himself. Huanxi noticed the clothes that Chuling was wearing and had a hunch that it was also a holy weapon. For this reason, he found a way to remove it from Chuling. But he had no idea that it could not be touched by someone with a weak body. With the intense power of the dragon clothes, Huanxi immediately lost consciousness. After Chuling confirmed that Huanxi was unconscious, teacher Shemu announced his victory. After the fight, Chuling received his reward, and he had a good place to stay. He wanted to have his other classmates live there as well, but Lin Yang refused his invitation. So only the four of them lived there, and since there were only 2 rooms in the house, Lanru immediately decided to be with Chuling in one of the rooms, so that she could protect him. On the other hand, Huanxi was punished by Beichuan because apart from losing again to Chuling, he also failed to recover the meteor stone. After a while, Beichuan was informed that they had a visitor, and it turned out to be Lin Yang. That night, Chuling was surprised that his Eudemon weapon was destroyed immediately even though he had only used it twice. When he looked at the vacuum seal, something fell from it. When he checked on it, he once again remembered the thing that Huanxi wanted from him. He accidentally broke his Eudemon weapon completely, but he was surprised to find that it contained another meteor stone. Suddenly, the 2 meteor stones merged and became an artifact as well. When he noticed that Lanru got up, he quickly went to bed and pretended to be sleeping. He was surprised that Lanru still came out of the house even it was late at night, so he decided to follow her. But it was not long when Lanru immediately noticed that she was being followed. Lanru quickly found a way to stop the person chasing her. But there was another one who was also following her, and it was Bai Lang. She had a hard time getting away from him, and when she was about to get close to the portal where he and Xue Yao were supposed to meet, her body suddenly felt weak. It turned out that she ran out of spiritual power, so she sent her butterfly to notify Xue Yao to leave. Since Bai Lang could no longer feel Lanru's presence, he decided to return. After a few minutes, Lanru forced herself to find a place where she could regain her spiritual power. Chuling also happened to pass by, so he saw her in that area. Lanru suddenly stopped what she was doing after she noticed that there was someone nearby, and this caused her to weaken again. Chuling quickly approached her, but he could not wake her up. He was worried about her safety, so he decided to bring her to his place. When they arrived at the house, Chuling noticed that the golden mark on Lanru's forehead lit up. When he touched it, he went to a place that was on fire. While he was walking in that place, he saw the young Lanru. It turned out that this was what Lanru was dreaming about too, and she also saw the young Chuling. When she woke up, she saw Chuling near her, so she immediately beat him. Chuling tried to explain, and Lanru found out that he touched the golden mark. After what she heard, Lanru forced him to swallow something, so that she could kill him quickly in case he told others what he saw. He told her that he understood what she went through because he was also an orphan who did not know who his parents were. He said that he was only adopted by his recognized mother, and they never once talked about his real parents. Suddenly, they heard Zifeng's voice, so Lanru quickly left the room. Meanwhile, Bai Lang went to the director to give some information. He turned out to be a secret agent who pretended to be a student to find out who was the spy among the students. Although they already know that Lanru was the spy, the director still preferred to let her go because they still needed something from her. The next morning, Chuling went to see Yi because she might know the owner of the necklace that Lanru left the other night. When he said that about the owner's last name, it was the moment when the thing that Lanru put in him suddenly activated. So he remembered about Lanru's warning to him that night. Yi quickly helped him to make him feel better. Then she left him because they might be late for class. They had no idea that Lanru saw them because she had been watching them for a while. When Chuling was on his way to their class, he was given a map by Lin Yang for the next activities. But it turned out that Lin Yang gave him a different map, so when he used it, he was surprised that his classmates were not there. After a while, he was attacked by the members of the Pure Color clan. They still wanted to get the meteor stone from him. They worked together to fight him, until Chuling created a barrier. But he immediately weakened after using the power, and it caused him to fall. Someone approached him, and he knew that there were two types of power inside Chuling's body. While in class, Zifeng was very angry at Lin Yang after he found out that Lin Yang had given the wrong map to Chuling by mistake. He suggested that they must find Chuling first, and she would also go to Master Doing to inform him. Lanru also moved quickly and used her butterflies to speed up her search. Chuling was asked by those who approached him if he had the two meteor stones. Chuling thought that he was also a member of the Pure Color clan, but when this person said that he was not a member of the Pure Color clan, Chuling decided to tell the truth. Chuling learned that the meteor stones were also called Suosher. He also learned that the artifact which was created from the two Soshur was said to be the key in finding the Bai Ling Long. This was one of the three ancient holy weapons that Feng Tian used to build the barrier of the Tianwu Academy. It also had the ability to open the seal on Chuling's body to restore his spiritual power. Before the masked man left, he told Chuling to swallow the artifact because it would help him. When the other members of the Pure Color clan arrived, Chuling quickly swallowed the artifact. Because of this, his spiritual power was once again restored. Bai Lang attacked the masked man who approached Chuling, but it turned out to be just a puppet. With the help of Lanru's butterfly, they successfully found Chuling. And as they were on their way back, someone suddenly attacked them. Fortunately, Lanru quickly pushed them away. It turned out that this was the work of Beichuan, who was immediately recognized by Zifeng as the leader of the Pure Color clan. Lanru tried to attack the enemy, but Beichuan moved quickly to get ahead of her. When he attacked them again, Zifeng used his weapon to help. But the enemy only controlled this weapon to attack him. Chuling tried to attack too, but Beichuan just blocked it. It was here that Beichuan had strangled Chuling, so Lanru forced to free herself to save Chuling. While Beichuan and Lanru were fighting, Zifeng tried to help Chuling. When Lanru was able to trick Beichuan, she had the opportunity to save Chuling. But Beichuan immediately came back, and when they were about to try to run, Moi used her power to stop them. Moi looked for the Suosher in Chuling, but what she found was the key itself. When Beichuan saw it, he was very happy because he could now find the Bai Ling Long. And if he found this, he would be able to control the Tianwu Academy. He now intended to kill Chuling, but Moi stopped him. She told Beichuan that he could not kill Chuling because they were protecting him at the moment. Beichuan thought that he was betrayed by the two, so he attacked them. But his power was not enough to defeat the combined power of Moi and Baogui. When Chuling's group were freed from Moi's power, they quickly left there. Moi offered Beichuan to cooperate with them so that he could achieve his long-held dream of controlling the Tianwu Academy. A few hours later, Master Doin had arrested the members of the Pure Color clan because of the sins that they committed. Beichuan let himself be captured as he followed the order of Moi. But the Tianwu Academy had no idea that Beichuan's group was planning something else. Master Doing brought to the director the key that they got from Beichuan. But one day, the masked man reappeared to Chuling to return the key. Chuling was surprised because he knew that it was in the care of the academy. The masked man did not say anything else to him and left immediately. One night, Lanru and Shueya met again so Lanru could give an update on what she was doing to protect Chuling. When Shueya mentioned that they almost died protecting Chuling, she wondered why he knew what happened the other day. He reminded her again how important Chuling's body was because if she did not understand it, her life would surely be in danger. The day had come for the end of the semester, so they were preparing for the exam. Chuling tried to use his power, but became the reason for him to weaken too much. Zifeng immediately approached to help him, and when he got up, Master Doin asked him to rest first. He was troubled by what was happening to his body because he might not pass the upcoming exam, and he would not be able to fulfill his dream of being like Feng Tian. For this reason, he had decided to take the Bai Ling Long, but he intended to just borrow it, and he would still return it. When he arrived at the place, the masked man appeared to him. He was the one who guided him so that he could show the building where the Bai Ling Long was located. When they saw it, the guards of the place came out of the building. The masked man fought them off so that Chuling would be given chance to enter the building. When he entered it, he immediately looked for the Bai Ling Long. It was not long when he found it, and as he was about to touch it, a seal was removed from the barrier of the black dragon. From that moment, he felt the great power in his body, so he immediately tried to use it. When he got out, he was surprised that the masked person was no longer there, and the building suddenly disappeared. Since it was already morning, he went home quickly because he might be late for their exam. The students came to the venue to take the exam. When the teachers came, Wenhu announced to everyone that if they passed the exam, they would become Junior Huan Hunshi. Lanru felt uneasy because Chuling had not arrived yet. When the exam started, Zifeng was called to face his opponent in the first duel. Although his opponent was strong, he was still able to trick him and won the fight. A few minutes later, Chuling also came there. Soon, his name was called, and his opponent was Wu Bei. Wu Bei was known as the strongest in their class. But Chuling already had a strong power, so his opponent's attacks did not work on him. He quickly defeated Wu Bei with his very powerful technique, and this made the other students and the teachers to be shocked. But he also became weak and immediately lost consciousness. Suddenly, something exploded behind them, and it turned out to be the work of the members of the Mo Wu Temple. They immediately attacked other students, so the teachers quickly took action to stop the intruders. Meanwhile, Yi was surprised because they were not heading to the south exit. When they met a member of the Mo Wu, Lin Yang just showed him the symbol, and the man left them alone. Zifeng quickly approached Chuling to take him out, but Shueya suddenly came and immediately attacked him. While Shueya was watching Chuling, someone also attacked him. When he found out that the director did this, he called him Feng Tian, and everyone was surprised that the director was Feng Tian himself. The other Tian Wu members also came there with Bai Lang. Feng Tian assigned them to take care of the other members of Mo Wu, and he would be the one to take care of Shueya. It was here that Shueya found out that it was actually Feng Tian's intention to send him there. But still Shueya did not show any fear because he was confident that he would defeat Feng Tian since the director had already suffered some injuries in the previous battle. He rushed and attacked non-stop until Feng Tian was forced to use his original form. Because of this, Shueya also released his true form. But it still did not work with the strength that Feng Tian had. Just as Feng Tian was about to kill him, he was suddenly stopped because Shueya grabbed Lanru, who was just nearby, and used her as his shield. He had no idea that Lanru had already prepared an attack. Because of this, she was able to get away, so Feng Tian immediately attacked Shueya. After that, as Feng Tian was about to approach Chuling, someone suddenly attacked him. It turned out that it was Wenhu's doing, and Lanru was surprised by this. Lanru quickly approached Feng Tian to help him. The Mo Wu members immediately approached Wenhu. Then Wenhu told Feng Tian that she would not let him stop his stepfather. It turned out that she only hid her true identity to enter the Tian Wu Academy. She took this opportunity to research and find out who was the person that received the sealed black dragon. Until the day came when she finally found out who was the person who had it. So she controlled the puppet that helped Chuling got the Bai Ling Long. Meanwhile, Chuling was currently inside the black dragon's abode. The black dragon tried to control his body, and succeeded. It emitted a very strong aura that made Wenhu happy. Chuling came closer to Wenhu, but he also immediately lost consciousness. It was here that the members of the Pure Color clan began to attack. Because of Beichuan's power, they successfully left there with Wenhu. Master Doing quickly found their location, and it was in the place where the last battle took place. The black dragon continued to torture Chuling, so that he could take over his body. But Chuling would not just give up because he believed that he had the same skills as Feng Tian. While Lin Yang and Yi were still running, Yi could not wait any longer, so she asked him a question. That was when Lin Yang said that he joined the Pure Color clan because he could not win over Chuling. He considered Chuling a rival because he knew that Yi liked him. He also informed her that the black dragon was sealed inside Chuling's body. After hearing this, Yi decided to go back because she did not want the black dragon to come back again. As the enemies waited for the black dragon's return, they felt that Feng Tian's group was already nearby. They went out to face them, so as not to bother the return of the black dragon. After the disciples of the Black Dragon came out, it was the moment when the battle began. Chuling's body was gradually disappearing due to the Black Dragon's insistence in getting it. It was not long before Lanru's butterfly came there, so she quickly tracked down Chuling's location. When she got close to Chuling, she quickly changed her form and then put their heads together so that she could enter wherever Chuling was. When she entered this dimension, she immediately attacked the Black Dragon. Because of the color of Lanru's spiritual power, the Black Dragon knew that it was from the Hua family. Chuling wondered why Lanru was there, so she said what he told her before. Only then he realized that she was his classmate. When the Black Dragon started to attack Lanru, Chuling forced himself to use his colorless spiritual power. Wenhu also felt the sudden weakening of the Black Dragon's aura. When Yi arrived, she quickly defeated those enemies around Feng Tian and immediately healed him. Chuling and Lanru worked together to fight the Black Dragon, so Lanru had a chance to bind their enemy. But before Chuling could attack him, the Black Dragon got away immediately. Then he used its power to bring them on a floating island. When the enemy attacked again, he quickly broke Chuling's barrier. Their battle continued again, and with the help of Lanru, Chuling was able to defeat the Black Dragon. But the enemy just absorbed his spiritual power, so when he retaliated, Lanru quickly pulled Chuling away. Because of this, Lanru was the one who hit by the attack of the Black Dragon. Then the Black Dragon gradually absorbed Lanru's spiritual power, causing her to disappear completely. Chuling was so angry that he released his very strong power. As their fight continued, the Black Dragon was being beaten by him. Even though the Black Dragon used Lanru's power, he still could not stop Chuling's massive attacks. Until he could not handle Chuling's attacks anymore, so he released him. When the enemy got up, he attacked Chuling again. Chuling sacrificed one of his hands to free himself and get closer to the Black Dragon. But the Black Dragon also cut off his other hand, so Chuling bit him. The enemy was able to stop Chuling from biting him, but after a few moments, the Black Dragon felt bad. It turned out it was because of Lanru's power which the Black Dragon failed to stop as Jie was trying to acquire Chuling's body. When Wenhu felt this, she lost her focus, so Feng Tian took this opportunity to attack her. The enemies decided to retreat, and Feng Tian quickly went to Chuling, and he saw Lanru there too. This is the end of the last episode of Eudemon Quest Season 1. I hope you like it and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss new uploaded videos. Thank you for watching.